Chapter 19. The Captain of the Ship. Taking Control Through Personal Accountability. Sign 19. Lack of Personal Accountability. Avoiding responsibility for one's actions. Shifting blame and offering constant justification for not completing tasks. Lack of personal accountability is a sign of laziness because it shows that we aren't taking responsibility for our actions and choices. When we fail to hold ourselves accountable, we often blame others or make excuses instead of owning up to our mistakes. This unwillingness to accept responsibility means we avoid the effort needed to learn from our experiences and improve ourselves. Laziness makes it easier to shift the blame or ignore the consequences of our actions, preventing us from growing and making positive changes. By not being accountable, we limit our ability to succeed and develop as individuals. Think of accountability as being the captain of your own ship. When you're accountable, you're steering your ship in the right direction by taking charge of your actions and decisions. Being accountable means admitting when you make a wrong turn and finding a way to get back on course. It's not about blaming others or hiding mistakes. It's about being honest and learning from the journey. Just like a ship needs a captain to navigate smoothly, being accountable helps you steer your life in a positive direction. In our fast-paced world, personal accountability often gets overlooked, yet it is the bedrock of integrity and personal growth. Whether at work, in our relationships, or within ourselves, taking responsibility for our actions is crucial. This journey towards overcoming a lack of personal accountability is not about perfection, but about embracing our imperfections and striving for better. Let's explore practical steps that can guide us toward becoming more accountable individuals. 8 steps to overcoming lack of personal accountability. 1. Acknowledge the lack of accountability. Admit that you've been avoiding responsibility, shifting blame, or justifying your actions to avoid accountability. Awareness is the first step toward change. Identify triggers and notice patterns. Pay attention to situations where you tend to avoid accountability. Is it during stressful times, when facing criticism, or when you feel insecure? Understand the root causes. Determine why you avoid responsibility. Is it due to fear of failure, lack of confidence, or a desire to protect your self-image? 2. Recognize the need for personal appearance. Understand the impact. Reflect on how this behavior affects your relationships, work, and personal growth. Recognizing the negative consequences can motivate you to change. Recognize the benefits. Understand that personal accountability helps strengthen relationships and builds trust and integrity. 3. Use positive self-talk and affirmations. Challenge negative beliefs. Identify and challenge any negative beliefs you have about personal accountability. Encourage yourself with statements like, I take full ownership of my actions and choices, or I acknowledge my mistakes and use them as opportunities to learn. 4. Build accountability relationships. Partner with someone. Find a trusted friend, mentor, or colleague who can help hold you accountable. Regularly check in with them to discuss your progress and challenges. Be an accountability partner. Offer to hold others accountable for their goals. This mutual accountability reinforces your own commitment to being responsible. 5. Seek feedback and accept criticism. Be open to input. Invite feedback from others about your performance and behavior. Constructive criticism can help you see areas where you need to take more responsibility. Avoid defensiveness. When receiving criticism, listen carefully instead of immediately defending yourself. Use the feedback to grow rather than as an excuse to justify your actions. 6. Stop shifting blame. Own your actions. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to blame others or external circumstances. Instead, focus on what you could have done differently. Practice saying, I'm responsible. Use phrases like, I take responsibility for this, or this was my mistake in your daily interactions. This reinforces the habit of owning your actions. 7. Stop justifying non-completion. Take action instead of making excuses. When you realize you haven't completed a task, focus on how you can rectify the situation rather than justifying why it didn't happen. Apologize and rectify. If your lack of accountability has affected others, offer sincere apology and work to make amends. This shows integrity and commitment to change. 8. Accept mistakes and failures. Acknowledge imperfections and understand that everyone makes mistakes. Accepting this makes it easier to take responsibility when things don't go as planned. Learn from failures. View mistakes as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than as events to avoid or justify. Ask yourself what you can do differently next time. In the journey of life, personal accountability is your compass, guiding you toward growth, success, and integrity. By taking ownership of your actions, you empower yourself to overcome obstacles, learn from mistakes, and build trust in your relationships. Accountability isn't about perfection, it's about progress, courage, and the determination to steer your life in the direction you desire. When you stop making excuses, embrace responsibility, and commit to continuous improvement, you unlock your true potential. Take the wheel of your life today and watch as accountability transforms your path into one of purpose, resilience, and achievement. Ancient wisdom. But what think ye? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first, and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second, and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Whether of them twain did the will of his father? They say unto him, the first, Yeshua.